Hello and welcome back to Starcraft 1 Part 27, and in this episode we'll be going into the second mission of the Protoss campaign, Into the Flames. Hi Phoenix.
Enter Hardoon.
Restored my faith in the Templar caste. I admit that Tassadar's desertion had shaken my faith.
Hi Tassadar.
I would hope that the Judicator would put more faith.
Oh, do you remember me? I appeared only a couple times.
Silent Judicator. There is no
Shut up and allow me to interrupt you dramatically.
As you know, the Zerg vanished after the fall of the Terran world of Tarsonis. Though the Conclave bid me return home, I was compelled to remain. A powerful psionic call drew my attention to a remote barren world named Char.
So yes, Tassadar was called to Char by Kerrigan as well.
Char, I encountered those who were once our brethren, the Dark Templar.
Consorting with the fallen ones is heresy.
Enough!
Heresy!
For I have learned much from the Dark Templar prelate, Zeratul. The Overmind controls its minions through agents called Cerebrates.
Oh, are we gonna go kill the Cerebrat who we were, which is ironic because we were the Cerebrat now playing as the Protoss?
I think technically we're actually attacking Dagoth, but it's likely that we're attacking the Jormungand. But I'm not sure.
Tassadar. Already I can sense the taint of the fallen one's influence on your mind. You must return to Ire at once.
My concern is for the safety of Ire, not the judgments of the Conclave.
My concern is for the safety of Ire, not the judgments of the Conclave. I'll return when the time is right.
Now, as a kid, I actually really loved Tassadar standing up to Aldaris there, especially what happens later to Aldaris. The problem is that Aldaris is an asshole for the entirety of the mission until the very end. But that's mostly because it's his job to be that asshole.
So not 15-minute melee?
Yeah, this is not really a 15-minute melee. Mostly because, again, we're playing at a slightly above normal speed, and we are also waiting for Phoenix to arrive to assault the back half of the Zerg base. We are going to be attacking the front half of the Zerg base, and Phoenix attacks the back half. Well, Phoenix provides us with units with which to attack the back half of the Zerg base.
And yay.
So look, a Zerg scouting force. Anyway, I have been playing Majora's Mask Randomizer recently because a randomizer for Majora's Mask came out like 2 months ago, and I decided, you know what, I want to try that because Majora's Mask is the best 3D Zelda game. So I decided to start trying it out, and I know fuck all about Majora's Mask, dude. I just constantly have the spoiler list up in the background, just there, so I can figure out what I'm supposed to do next and what I want to accomplish in each cycle.
Yeah, it strikes me as a randomizer is probably more suited for players who already know which assets they're moving around and the order that corrupts the path that you're going to eventually take as the player.
Oh, certainly. I mean, I really like playing the Lama Lana randomizers that I picked up a few months ago as well. But Lama Lana, although actually has significantly more things in it, is actually significantly more open with how you can approach going after these things. Mostly by its nature of being a 2D action platformer instead of, you know, a 3D action RPG. Although would you say that Zelda is an action RPG?
Well, what is the nature of an action RPG?
Well, whenever I use the term action RPG, I always think of games like Diablo 2 and Torchlight and things of that nature. But those are 2.5D. I suppose that if you really consider it, then then Elder Scrolls would technically be an action RPG, but I hesitate to call Elder Scrolls an action RPG strictly because Elder Scrolls isn't really focused on its action aspects. They're there, they're certainly present, but they're not really the focus of Elder Scrolls.
But,
the role-playing aspect.
Okay, but the only criterion you've used to define action RPG is the perspective, either 2D or 3D. But I think it goes. I think we use finer parameters than that. I thought action RPG was defined as like a one-player-ish game. You play as a character, either one that the game provides for you or one that you create yourself, and you get to level up and develop your character as you play the game.
Which, in that broad of a spectrum, Zelda would certainly qualify as an action RPG, as you know.
You don't level up. You don't level up Link though. You just get new equipment.
But that is a significant progression curve, especially when you're playing the vanilla versions of these games. You know, in Ocarina of Time, which I really dislike, but it still follows this trope really well. You start off ridiculously limited in what tools you have, but as you progress through the game, your tool set becomes so expansive that you're able to take on pretty much anything however you want. Link to the Past specifically is very much an action RPG in that regard. It just doesn't actually have the leveling of stats, but it also has that in the form of heart pieces and heart containers. Whereas your character is also getting numerically stronger as the game progresses and you're successfully exploring around.
Yeah, I could see that getting more heart containers is a kind of character development. Because, I mean, one critical aspect is that you could visit and you can interact with areas as many different levels as the game makes possible. You can go to an area as a level 1, you can go to that exact same area, the exact same game situation as a level 10.
Well, in Legend of Zelda 1, sure, but not in the later games. The later games are better designed than that.
Right, because your equipment loadout controls your progress.
Right.
We have jump cutted to the very end of this ridiculous 15-minute timer, which does not actually count Earth seconds, and kind of vexes me as to exactly how long this mission is.
It's okay, Cloud. We will be finishing this mission in this part. So, we have successfully genned about 14 Dragoons, about 16 perhaps. We're gonna send them into this minefield. Oh look, our Dragoons are unable to go down the ramp.
Not enough sigh, stranger. Oh Jesus! Oh, they apparently they took out some of our pylons.
No, they did not take out some of our pylons. The units that Phoenix brought with us contribute to our psi count.
Oh, okay. All right. So it just means that you're not supposed to really lose units at this point because you would have to lose over 21 units just so you can build one.
Actually, it's 10 units that you'd have to use because every single Protoss unit, with the exception of the Observer, well, I think maybe the High Templar only costs 1, but Zealots and Dragoons both cost 2 psi.
Ooh, that's gross. They cost more than 1 psi apiece?
Yes, they do.
Alright, well, how does it feel to finally use our friends up there, Mr. Splash, kill everything fuck Zerg?
Well, here's the problem. I'm not using them appropriately. In fact, they're on auto-fire at the moment, which is terrible because they're siege cannons.
Crawl! Crawl, my siege minions! God damn it, you are slow.
Yes, they are slow.
These guys, this is a very zen race.
Yes, honestly, given the fact that the Zerg are pretty much the Tyranids from Warhammer, the Protoss are more or less the Eldar from Warhammer. Now the problem with that, of course, is that I don't know fuck all about the Eldar from Warhammer. Like I don't.
I mean, how about we just call them the Jedi Council? So
unfortunately, we have run out of resources at home, and I'm just now noticing it.
Well, build. You can build 3 more units. Replenish. Restock. Resupply.
I'm wasting my scarabs. I'm wasting my scarabs though on a spore colony.
You see, the Jedi Council looked like it was doing just fine, but little did they realize that the Zerg was sleeping with the Senator.
I only have enough resources for 10 more scarabs. And yes, scarabs cost 15 minerals apiece.
You're still overproducing your Vespene.
Like I have a choice, there's nothing else that I can spend Vespane on. Upgrades and Dragoons are it at this point in the campaign.
Alright, well... Okay, so the minimum number of units you need at a Vespene Geyser... Not enough cash, stranger. The minimum number of units that you need at a Vespene Geyser in order to harvest Vespene is 1. So how about you just put 1 guy at a Vespene Geyser and then have the other guys do other stuff?
That's not really how that works, though. I mean, if you only have 1 guy on Vespane, you generate... What is it? It's 8 Vespene per trip. You, depending on how close the Nexus is, takes... 10 seconds. So you're generating like half of Vespane a second. At that production speed, you're not actually generating enough Vespane to actually produce units. So you need at least two units on Vespane in order to successfully produce units efficiently.
Man. So really, it's like, because wait, you are rocking 2 Vespene collectors right now just by me watching the counter in the top right corner. So
I think
it's either you pick 2,
4, actually.
So you pick 2 plus, you pick 1, or you pick 0. But I think the natural answer is that it's probably more than 0.
Yeah.
Return to the Citadel. I shall notify you when the brood becomes erratic.
And so we have successfully slain the Cerebrate, except not really. Join us next part when we figure out the consequences of this mission.
Yay!